still think the way that I thought when I was, in my fucking teens, 20s, and, you know, up to 30, years old. And just because I stopped selling drugs didn't mean my mind didn't still work the same way. It still worked the same way. That's why I got into the cards, then the checks, because my mind still worked the same way. Plus, I still had a lifestyle to support. Still had a mortgage. Still had car notes. Still had kids to clothe and care for. Right? If I hadn't done the work, if I hadn't done the studying, if I hadn't done the things that the studying and the books and stuff told me to do, which was journal about everything, which is to process everything, which is basically take your thoughts, experiences, ideas, conversations, interactions, and write them down, which is at the hour mark. Write them down so that you can then look at them and look at what you said and look at what you thought about what you said. It's a critical process. It's being critical.
How you doing, sir?
Critical thinking, So if I hadn't done that, I never would have been able to win this battle. But I did. I did win the battle. And when I won the battle, there was no parade, no ticker tape, no fanfare, no congratulations, no, it was none of that. It was just me and my own satisfaction of having done it, even though it was having an adverse effect on my familiar relationships, romantic relationships, financial condition, my ability to provide for you and your siblings in the manner that I had always been accustomed, even though it was having negative impacts in all those aspects of my existence. I still felt like I'd won because I had escaped the mindset. I'd gotten away from that street corner mentality, that gangster mindset, that identity that will hold you and limit you from becoming a better version of you. Because that guy wouldn't do this. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do this. My uncle told me that his brother is down here in the South, in the Carolinas. I was like, oh man, I want to see him, man. And he says, he's scared of you. I said, what? He said, he's scared of you. He think you're doing crazy. I was like, yo, and I totally get it. I totally get it. Because there was a time I'd have been the same way. I'd have been like, yo, I'm not fucking with him. I don't know what the fuck going on with that nigga. That nigga going crazy. Like, I don't know who that is. Who's that person? Like, where did he come from? That nigga he ain't from us. Like, because we would never do that. We would never go against the grain like that. But what I came to understand from reading those books and studying those things and learning those things and, learning myself, what I came to understand was the thing that I was born into died with the birth of gangster rap. It's over. It's over. A lot of y'all are just getting the memo. A lot of y'all are just finding out that, Bimmy violated 40 years ago. And that the Bimmies of the world violated, decades ago. Y'all just finding that out. Those of us who have survived, we've known it a long fucking time. And those are the those are the major components that have dismantled that thing that we were so attached to and pledged our fealty to, and were willing to give up our life, our limbs, our liberty for. That shit's gone. That's why. And I understood that through my learning. I understood that through my studying, my self reflection, and my honest, truthful look at the world that I come from and what had happened to it. Media happened to it. Hip hop happened to it. Cheap drugs that anybody could buy happened to it. Shit changes. And a lot of us didn't change. And because we didn't change or refused to change, we lost our minds or our lives or our freedom or all three. And I just got that. I understood it earlier than most, I guess. You know, and that's why I said, yeah, I gotta share this. I gotta share this. I gotta tell them the truth. I gotta tell them what it is. I don't look like no superhero on every page of this book. Believe you me. A lot of this shit is not flattering, but it is true. And because it's true, it's medicinal. It's helpful. And when I watched Prince on Thanks for Asking, that's what I got. Not just from the words he said. He said those words. He said, I want to educate and help people to make better decisions, help these youngins know the things I didn't know when I first made these choices that led me to 34 years and 6 months in the penitentiary. And they were not easy years. The gladiator battles that I was hearing about Prince having in prison, and Prince ain't no big giant dude. Gladiator, warrior, you know, not just in his words, but in his humility and his tone. You listen to how he speaks. You listen to his inflection. Yeah. If you really know what you're listening for, you hear 34 and a half years of hard-earned overstanding. Real talk. So I highly recommend that. And the American Dope, which I know is going to be dope. Al Prophet's joint. He's only, like I said, released a few minutes of it. But it's going to be some shit. Definitely want to check that out. But yeah, man. Shit is not a game. It's not a game. Not a game. That's what I've been trying to tell y'all. But I'm always trying to tell y'all. It's not a game. Like I always told you and your brothers. It's not a game. This shit is not a fucking game. Not a game. And it's never been more important to understand that than now. Don't nobody want to end up some old, broken down, beat up, busted, useless, you know, nobody. Nobody want to end up like that. But a lot of brothers have, and a lot more will, based upon how we're moving right now. And based upon how those who would be our enemies are moving right now. So I felt that was on my heart, as they say, you know. And I know you're under circumstances that you really can't chop like that, but I
I'm
mean,
listening. You got my ear.
I always appreciate that about you, son. You know, I always appreciated that about you. And there was a long time when I didn't think you were listening. When you were in your 20s, I didn't think you were listening. I really didn't. When you were in your late teens, mid to late teens, up to your mm, early 20s, I was like, this motherfucker's not listening. And then all of a sudden, it's like something started to click. And at first, I didn't believe it. I was like, oh, he bullshit. He just trying to trick me, make me think that he really doing what he, I've known niggas like this nigga. Like he just trying to fool me. But consistency and, persistence, I was like, remember when I first said, I said, in all earnest, I said, you said some shit. And I was like, you were listening. Like I was really surprised. I was like, you were, when you said what, I don't remember what it was. It was obviously years ago. You're damn near 40 now. So this was back when you were in your 20s. And you said something. I was like, you were listening. I was not being facetious. I really was surprised. I was taken aback. I was like, this nigga really was listening. Because I was really convinced that you were not, based upon the shit that you were doing. I was like, this motherfucker didn't hear a word I said. But yeah, turns out you did. And I couldn't be prouder. I could not be prouder. I hope, fuck hope. I will that every, including yourself, every melanated man who is a father to a son has the opportunity to have the kinds of experiences that we have had, that we have shared, and get to see their legacy expand and their progeny grow. I really do. I've known so many that didn't happen for, and it won't because they're dead, or you know they're in prison, buried in prison, and their their children have moved on. You know? So definitely, man. And for all of you people who appreciate, what it is that I do, that we do here, whatever, um, I would appreciate your support. I would appreciate it that you go to my site, the mindplugacademy.com. It's THEMINDPLUGACADEMY, the mindplugacademy.com, and get my book, because there's way more to it. Like, then, I did this, I had that, I drove this and wore that, and I bought this. That shit there is the periphery. That's the least of things. I might tell you what I'm wearing, but as I'm going into the motherfucking courthouse, or as I'm going into, a club, or as I'm, moving through a neighborhood, whatever. But it ain't about what I'm wearing, what I'm driving. It's about what's happening. I'm just giving you a picture. But it really is about what's happening, really about what I'm thinking, about what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and ultimately how I ended up alive, healthy, and motherfucking free, and not a fucking statistic, but a statistical anomaly. So it looks like you're at a show. You about to? Oh, you at Carlos's thing?
Yeah.
Are you going on?
I have no idea. I got to get inside first. I've been doing this. I was trying to
Oh,
make sure I wasn't in the back with loud and, you know.
well, I appreciate your time and attention and participation, son. We got that
Oh,
1 o'clock tomorrow with the people,
yeah.
and
That's why, we got to treat it like real business and be there, be
right,
on time.
Absolutely. I'm just laughing because Tina said Hassan Campbell also wilding out on Supreme, Supreme suing him. Um, that should be interesting. Hassan Campbell is obviously a young man with some significant psychological, psycho-emotional issues. And he shared the first time I ever seen that guy online. I think it was the first video ever made. He came right out and said that Africa Bambaataa was raping him. I don't know. Can you molesting? Because I can't. You can't really call it rape if a motherfucker willingly participated, right? So, and I don't make fun about nothing like that because I fucking hate predators. Yeah, for real, for real. I would eradicate them, for free. All they got to do is give me a per diem for bullets. I'll wipe the planet of them. But the young man has obviously got some significant psycho-emotional issues. And the thing about my brother Preem is because he is convicted of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and so forth. Um, he, he the thing about defamation, and that's what he would be suing him for. The thing about defamation is when you defame someone, you undermine their character publicly, and by doing so, the presumption is that you disenable them from being able to make a way for themselves. To be you diminish an opportunity, or you disenable them opportunities to provide and earn and stuff like that because you've damaged their character and reputation. I don't know that my brother qualifies for such a claim, considering that he is convicted. He's convicted as a murderer. I don't think that there's any defaming that can be done. Logically speaking. Now, I I hope that I will that he can. Um, I don't know what the young man Hassan Campbell's situation is. You can sue people and you can win. Don't mean you're ever going to get anything out of them. That's a fact. That's a fact. If it ain't there, it ain't there. You know. And so yeah, that's interesting. That's a very interesting situation right there. I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna Earl Taylor, what's happening, Earl Taylor Senior? He said he watched the Our Prophet video yesterday. That's not the whole one. Um, he says Supreme. Tina says Supreme calling a rat. Uh, you talk about A. You talk about A from Uptown. Z. Um, oh yeah, we got a few comments in here. But yeah, son. I mean, you can go ahead and do what you do, man. I'm a shout out a couple of people. I see Trey Oxendine in there. Um, um, yeah, Trey said Prince made it clear. Me and my uncle rarely talk. I mean, considering circumstances, they both been in prison. They haven't really seen each other. Like, I don't know, probably 35 years, something like that, maybe. You about to say something?
No, I wasn't saying no.
Okay,
I was
okay.
scratching.
All right, well, go ahead and do your thing, man. And he's going to elaborate on his own podcast. That's right. Uh, shout out a few people. Shout out a few people here. Let me see before we bounce. Let me show some love to those who show us love, and shout these peoples out. Let me see who we got here. You got Robert Henry 345. You got Quan Neverlakin. What's happening, Quan? Um, you got top UV Dacity, top of the city, top of UV, top of the city. What's going on top of the city? See you in a minute. Um, Hassan calling who a rap. um, got Tom Tom in here. What up, Double T? Tom Tom Lester out of DC, my brother. The House of Sufian. What's going on, Maurice? What's happening with you, brother? Um, Tina says, let nephew calm down. He's trying to get to an event, bro. Tom Tom said, have a great show. It's not his show, bro. It's someone he knows. It's a young brother.
If I get in there, I might get on the show. But
Well, go ahead and do your thing. Go ahead and do your thing, man. 1911. Thank you. 1911 Q. All right. Love you, son. All right. And I'm going to tap out. I just want to shout these people out and then get off here. All right. All right. Tell Los I said what up.
All right.
Peace. 1911 Q, what's going on? Thanks for joining We Poppin', son. Hustle Man 101, appreciate you. Thanks for joining We Poppin', son. Shout out to Street Dreams, DC's motherfucking finest. The Hood Economist, what's going on, the Hood Economist? What's happening with you, man? Rikers 263, thank you for joining us tonight, man. Who else with it? Josh. What's up, Josh? What's happening with you, Josh? See you. I see you. And who else we got her? Who we got here? Love you, Tom Tom. Who we got her? Who have I missed before I jump off of here? This should keep jumping to the bottom. I think that's pretty much it. Sam Rosenthal. What's going on, Sam Rosenthal 95? What's happening, Sam Rosenthal? Party Radames. Yo, what's going on, Radames? What's happening? It's my guy. What's happening, Radames? I ain't seen you or heard from you in what they call a month of Sundays. Probably more like a year of Sundays. What's good, brother? I will it all is well on your side. And who else we got here? Who else? I think that's pretty much it. I got everybody. Monges Entertainment, Mongesent. Is that right? Monges Entertainment. Thanks for joining. I haven't seen you in the live before. Appreciate you. I don't know how you found us, but I'm glad you did. That's right. This game of life is called chess. That's right, Tia. It's called chess. For real. The Marble Cape. What's happening? It's been a minute. Who else we got here? Yeah, that Smoky Black. What's happening? Yeah, that Smoky Black. And Sharice Dougie. Hey, Sharice. And Sass Killer Paparazzi. What's going on? And who else? I like to recognize and acknowledge those who have the time and attention to tap in with us and, support like, hey, Sharice, support, what we're doing here. There aren't a lot of people who are offering what we're offering. What they're offering is what we call junk food. They're offering junk food. We're not offering junk food. I know people like junk food and all of that, but I think ultimately, if you got to look at it like this. If you've got a congregation, right? Let's say you guys are our congregation, and you're feeding your congregation and you're feeding them junk food, they're gonna probably love you for a while. But you always give them junk food. They love junk food. Make them feel good, all right? But after being fed junk food for a good while, they're gonna start to get sick, start to feel bad, start crashing. When the sugar no longer, you know, has the same effect. Now it's starting to make them feel bad. Then they're not gonna appreciate you. And there ain't gonna be no coming back. And like, all right, y'all ready for real food now? Y'all ready for real food now? Like, no, nigga, we know you for the junk food. You the junk food man. You the junk food man. That's what you are. I'm not that. We are not that. We Poppin' Son is not that. So, when we step into our next iteration and contracts are signed, when we step into our next iteration, I look forward to you guys joining us there then on that, and being on this journey with us as we evolve this situation. I've been doing this over a year, and it has been very educational. And I think going forward, it's going to be even more educational. Not just for us, but for everybody. For those who are in the congregation, and us, everybody who comes into contact with what we're doing. So stick with us, and definitely support. Go to my site, themyplugacademy.com, and support. Buy a book, buy a shirt, One Way Lonnie, hoodie, backpack. Sign up for My Plug Academy. Let me help you get your mind more effective. Help you learn some of these practices that have helped me to evolve. If I can evolve from the person that I was and where I was, then most people weren't as deep down that rabbit hole as I was. Most people like me don't change. They don't change, especially if they've got no reason to change. I had no external reason to change. I was getting money. Life was quiet. I mean, yeah. Were the feds hovering? Yeah. Antonio Grillo, 34. Thanks for tapping in. We popping up. But I mean, I lived with that all my life. The feds weren't a new and sudden advent in my life. I was born into it. So the feds were always a part of the dynamic of my life. I lived with the knowing that the feds, the police, were a constant fucking threat, which is why I was raised with so much discipline, so much restrictiveness. When my friends were buying Porsches and all type of shit, whatever, I had the money to buy Porsches. But I mean, Porsche was 60,000. Like, it wasn't nothing to go buy no car like that. But then what? I was warned not to do shit like that when I was even outside there. Like I was in the street when my mother told me, "You don't do that." My uncle told me, "You don't do that." That's not what we do, and this is why. I had as good a run as a person could possibly have. I got everything you want, nothing you don't want. When I stopped, I had no reason other than I was fucking tired to stop. That's why my friends was like, "This nigga lost his mind." Like, why would you stop? Doesn't make sense. You plugged, you established, you're fucking great at what you do. Why would you stop? You must be going crazy. But I was actually going sane. I'd always been crazy. I came from crazy. I was going sane. And But when your world is upside down, then up is down, and my world was upside down. So when I started ascending, motherfuckers thought I was descending, and it blew my mind to realize that. Blew my mind, it really did. But I learned. I learned a lot about who I had been and who I had been around. I learned a lot, and I did what I could with what I learned. And I think I did all right. Pretty sure I did. And on that note, remember to think critically so that you may live wonderfully. All right, plug out. Peace.